Hello, people of the internet.
It totally scared me, dude. I didn't know you were gonna do it.
Oh, we got people. We got people in the chats. We got people. We got Retethered Tech. We got Richard is here. We got Adamoji is here. We got Vernon Shelford. Genosis is here. Bob, of course, is having some sort of acid flashback. I don't know what's going on with Bob. Host is here. Oh no, that's me. Tech for your needs, of course. So, how's everybody doing? I got some ambient bed music going on here. Look, Zach's got a product. He's got a product display going on his desk.
Well, I'm just saying, Soundwave's providing the tunes. You got the later case. And again, I don't know how I got this early. I ordered it like the week before the Pixel came out, and I did check, Jason. Remember I told you earlier I didn't use my business name? But I did order under my business email, and I did put Zach Talks Tech, but I did put my real name. So either they know who I am, or maybe it's just a chance. I don't know. Anyway, point is
maybe they sent you like maybe they sent you the demo.
I don't know. I mean, I'm very happy with it. Although there's a couple things that I know a lot of people are not crazy about the camera cover, and if you look closely, because there's ridges at the top and bottom of the camera module, there's a bit of a gap. Can you see the gap right there between the case and the actual lens?
Yeah.
Anyway, stuff can get in there, and I have found some stuff in there. But this is the next best thing to a skin. Let me tell you that. Oof.
Yeah, I stopped myself from making fun of people. Well, I did make fun of, not really made fun of, but I poked fun at Digital Slang today because he was all excited about his white carbon fiber skin for his Pixel.
Oh, did he get it? I ordered a D-brand white carbon for mine. The colored Google logo that's kind of like the Nexus colors, and the top part. I didn't get anything on the camera module, but I ordered the stone, so it's all white. So the only black is going to be on the camera module. So it's a true black and white panda, penguin, stormtrooper. But yeah, you made fun of that. He got that today. I didn't see that. So
yeah, I saw it on Twitter this morning, and
don't make fun of Digital Slang. He's a good guy.
Well, I'm poking fun.
I know.
Poking fun. But the thing about it is, okay, D-Brand has done some cool stuff recently. I've liked their stuff more, but when it comes to stuff like the Dragon Scale and the carbon fiber, it just reminds me of when you would get the Trapper Keeper in high school, and you would put something you go to the hardware store and get a carbon fiber 3M decal and put it on to make it look cool.
Hey, I rocked the dragon skin on my Note. Okay, so you remember when the Note 9 was my first Note? Remember? Yeah. I rocked the dragon skin on there, the red dragon skin.
You didn't rock anything.
I did. I rocked it. I rocked it like a mofo.
You didn't rock anything.
I rocked it like a hurricane.
Man, I almost said Daily Driver in a video last week. I almost puked on camera.
My brother-in-law asked me that the other day. He's not even a techie guy. He's an electrician. Hey, Zach, what's your daily driver? My what? What the F did you just say?
Your who? My daily. I drive a Hyundai.
Where'd you learn those words? Well, probably from one of your videos. I'm like, I did not say that, Tyler.
Nobody should ever say that. Friggin'. You know what else? I've been watching videos about this giant 48-inch monitor that well, it's not a monitor, it's a TV.
I'm so jealous of you, dude.
48-inch OLED TV that I picked up.
Jason's like, I need a big monitor. I'll just buy a damn TV.
Well, I'd watched these videos Linus and everybody had gotten these things from LG, and LG's sort of low-key marketing these 48-inch versions of their their C1 OLED TVs as big-ass monitors, right?
I would use one, LG.
And so they were on sale. They're still on sale. Usually $12.99, and they were on sale for $10.99. So you get a couple $100 off. I went out and grabbed one, and I watched a bunch of videos, and I should have been ready for it. Should have been ready for it, but
you weren't ready.
I can't tell you how many times the phrase "inky blacks" was uttered. Brian Tong is the worst offender.
Oh, Brian's good. Come on.
Hey, I'm just saying. I like Brian too, but he was a hardcore offender with the inky blacks.
You're not going to CES, are you?
I'm not going to any of that stuff,
I'm
man.
going.
It's nothing but it's a giant human petri dish.
I know,
I
it's
might
gonna
as
be
well
great.
just go
I can't
into a
wait.
public bathroom and lick all the toilets.
You know, in
I'm-
today's world, you'd probably be cleaner in there.
It probably would be. I mean, geez, you could probably eat off the toilets these days. But man, when you get what is it, 10,000 people, 20,000 people all together to touch all the same tech?
Hey,
in close quarters?
I've got, you know, I got the stuff for the fingers. I've got a cool mask that covers the whole beard. I've got.
Oh, do you
set, man.
have one of those beard condom masks?
Well, no, you saw it. Remember I showed you on here? Like it was a full. Remember?
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah,
camo?
yeah. I
Yeah.
see. I saw somebody that had one that like came down and then it like went down and under.
Oh no, this one just hangs.
So you remember when Razer at CES 2021 showed their Zephyr? I think it's the Zephyr mask.
Oh yeah, the mask.
Well, it is now.
I think DePoet's got one. Didn't DePoet's get one?
I don't know if he did or not, but it's now officially a product.
It's
It
a
is
thing
not-
now.
It's a real product. They have a couple of different models of it. You can get like the steampunk looking one, and yeah, it's a real product. I was actually on a not a sales call, but a marketing call for Razer. Announced at RazerCon a couple of weeks ago. They've got some PC not peripherals, but parts like a CPU cooler and some fans and I think they're all platinum rated power supplies. So they've branched out into that, and they also announced that these Zephyr masks were going to
Okay.
be an
Is that
actual real thing.
Is that the RGB ones? Sorry,
Yeah,
I had to
you can-
disappear there. I've got a bleed thing on the other side of my big nose here, so I'm not going to turn that way.
It's only
But like
we're
that's
only
the
in
RGB one,
720p.
right?
Yeah, you can get it in RGB, so it's like a mask.
Yeah.
You can talk like me.
They no listen to me until I came out of the dark.
I was born in it.
Born in there. What? What is he saying?
I know, like that was the weirdest choice ever for a voice accent.
They definitely
like-
fixed it up a bit in post. They said they didn't, but come on.
They had to have. I mean, anyway, so that thing is a real deal. Now, if I had one of those, and it comes with like you can get it with a 3-month supply of filters. The filters are good for like a day each.
You know what I
So-
use?
but
A
it's not
coffee
like-
filter.
Well, I don't use anything because I never leave the house.
I
But,
never do those.
no, I went to vote today, and I wore a.
Yeah,
I
what are you
wore a
guys
mask.
voting about today? I don't understand.
It's mostly state elections today,
Okay.
and ours was mostly entirely local, so county-wide school board and city council. So, and I voted. Like you could vote for up to 3 school board candidates. I only voted for 1.
You rebel.
It's what they call bullet voting, baby. They do.
Okay.
I
All right. Listen, I didn't know. I didn't see on Twitter. Actually, I went through your Twitter. I didn't see it anywhere. But you went and picked up a Pixel this past weekend, didn't you?
I got the Pixel Sixel.
What, you got the regular?
Yeah.
You got the flat one?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you got the white one.
No, it's not white. Seafoam green, baby.
Oh, wait. I can't tell.
Yeah.
Hold it up. Okay, I
my-
can see the green on top.
Yeah,
But
it's,
still-
my camera's a little blown out. I need to redo the white.
I'm
also,
so effing... Ugh.
I
Jealous.
I wanted the black. Like I missed the black by like two
wanna
2
trade?
seconds.
You want to trade?
No, because I'm gonna return this.
Honesty.
Yeah, well, that's the name of the channel.
Yeah. You're within that 14-day tech tuber return cycle?
I think I get at Best Buy I get 45 no matter what.
Oh, well,
So
you can give
So,
a full
yeah.
review.
yeah, I can do it after 30 days.
Yeah.
I can do all kinds of stuff, but I'm not going to spend that much time on it. Honestly.
I got to tell you, I'm okay, so even like I didn't have any issues with the curved edges. But now that we're here, I miss my flat display. And the reason why mine looks orange is because I have the bedtime light thing on. I'm going to turn it off right now.
Is it 99 times green?
Well, because I have it turned on so it turns on at like sunrise and sunset.
Sunrise, sunset.
So there we go. There we go. There we go.
Sunrise, sunset. Come on.
Anyway,
What musical? What
I
musical?
don't know that. I'm still using the default wallpaper and everything.
If I were a rich man, Yodel diddle diddle dodel diddle leedle leedle dum. All day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yodel diddle diddle dodel diddle leedle leedle dum. Sorry. You don't know anybody out there in the land of YouTube or any of the other platforms that we're on right now? Come on, Fiddler on the Roof. Sunrise, sunset.
Here for the tech, man.
You need tech to do a musical.
Okay. So let's.
Ah,
I want to start with the hot topic. Actually, I think it's pretty much cooled down.
which is what?
And I will fully admit, I'm probably guilty of hyping the cycle on it. And everything like that.
Are you a hype master? Are you the
No.
master of hype?
Okay, so Google said, you can talk about this and then you can release later on. In the case, so everybody released their videos showing, software and the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that a lot of people pointed out, pretty much everybody pointed out, is that the fingerprint sensor
Is dog shit?
It's inconsistent. Okay, and
Okay. It's
so,
runny dog shit.
Hold on, just let me finish. It's inconsistent. So I did my own setup and everything during my stream last week. I went through it, all that kind of stuff, and then I did an additional follow-up video showing what my experiences are. I originally did a video on my new channel, showing Jeff Springer's experience, Digital Slang, Tech Odyssey, and technically speaking, Scott Peachy there. So here's the phone. Always on display is on. I don't know why you wouldn't have it off or why you would have it off, but I mean, if I grab it, pick it up, put my finger.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
I mean, if you hit it right, it works. If
yeah,
you
and then
don't-
I would say 80% of the time. I would say actually 85% of the time I'm hitting it right.
So here's what I have to compare it to. The Note 21 Ultra, and that thing was bada bing.
Yep.
Like you just had to brush your finger across the sensor area, right?
My
It was
S21 was the
bam.
same. It was beautiful. Yep.
It was really nice. And then the Z Fold 3 with the fingerprint sensor on the power button, again, you just barely have to graze it with the ridges.
Yeah, it's a
of your
capacitor.
finger.
Yeah. I mean, that would
And
I'd be surprised if that wouldn't work.
And so when you come from those and then you go to this, which is a different technology, and it's kind of
Optical.
like clonk, clonk,
Well, and here's the funny thing, though, Jason. So the Samsung technology, minus the one on the side there, their in-display is an ultrasonic. So it's sending a wave and it's matching exactly. Whereas an optical is basically doing like what you and I would do with two pictures, holding them up and going, yeah they look the same, go, right? Back in the day, optical, which is what the Pixel 6 Pro used to be the faster. And it's funny now that ultrasonic is now,
Well, and the thing is, like, the last time I used a Pixel, I think it was the Pixel 4, had that, like, super fast Face ID thing.
solely.
It was like, bam!
Yeah.
And you were just in the phone, and now it's like, clonk, clonk.
I have a feeling that we're going to see. Okay, I don't have any other evidence to back this up other than what I've read over on XDA. By the way, XDA used my tweet today in an article, and so did a bunch of other big publications about turning on the screen sensitivity. Seemed to helps out a lot of people. Anyway, over in XDA, in the forums there, some people say they found in the beta, in the deep down in the code and everything, blah, 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 that Google can turn on a face unlock of sorts. Will it be on the same level as Soli or Face ID? No, but recognize a face unlock. That being said, Google did say with the release of the Pixel 5a and the 5, they said this with the release of the 4a. This is after the 4. They said Soli is gone for now, but it will come back.
But what's the reasoning behind that? Because to me, it's like, okay, you come up with this like technology.
It was a cost thing. Yeah, it was a cost thing. And remember, do you remember the videos where people were like, had their eyes closed and it wasn't supposed to react like that? It was supposed to actually read if eyes were open or closed or if the person was actually like alive. It was supposed to be on the same par. It was supposed to be on the same level in terms of security as Face ID with Apple. But it wasn't. There were some problems. And I think the biggest thing was the cost, because Soli cost a lot of money to put in the Pixel 4. So I know that doesn't solve the problem now, But based on what this device is doing now, and all I can hope is maybe an update comes down before the end of the year or something like that, with a face unlock or something like that, and then in the Pixel 7, which is just wild for me to say because I keep on thinking of the Nexus 7, Nexus 7 tablet, that maybe they put solely back in.
So, but that's the weird thing for me. Like, you even if it wasn't as secure or whatever, or if it was expensive or whatever, like to have a really cool technology like that Samsung hasn't been able to come up with, that like none of the other Android competitors have been able to come up with something that was that fast, that worked that well.
Yeah.
And then like you walk back on it. That's like, that to me is like a total Google move.
Well, okay, it's not like, it's not like it's added to the dead by Google list, although some websites would say. But Google has acknowledged that, yes, it wasn't on the level that we wanted to. Let's be honest, the Pixel 4 was their first step into going premium. If you look at the 4 compared to the 3, the 2, et cetera, it was their first premium. And then they went back on the 5A, and said, okay, back to basics and what we're doing best. And then they said, okay, let's take what we've learned and put it in the Pixel 6, right? So now they can move forward with that. Like, I would be shocked if Google went back into more of a mid-low range kind of thing with the Pixel 7. I don't think they will. I think the A series is going to be relatively the same all the time. Black, that plasticky, whatever it is, and then just simple bare bones, and then your numbered series is going to be your game player, right? So
I mean, ultimately, here's my sort of like, let's see, I got it on Friday, so this would be what, 5 days, day 5 probably.
Yeah, I got mine on Thursday. Yeah.
At this point, I would say, and again, like, solely is one of those things that so it went from being like a check mark in the plus column if I'm considering buying a Pixel, to now we're back to optical fingerprint reader, and it's like a detraction. It's not as good as whatever else is out there, right?
Let me ask you this: do you think the quote unquote slowness, the little bit extra time it takes to unlock, do you think, outside of tech enthusiasts, tech nerds, reviewers, do you think all the other consumers out there that are looking at this device are going to really notice that?
Here's what I would say. If you're coming from a Samsung device to this, yes.
You're going to notice it.
If you're coming from an iPhone to this, it's going to fucking piss you off.
Because if you're used to like Face ID,
is just like, boop.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's open, and now with this, like, there's just you get used to it over time, I'm sure, but there's just enough of a delay. If you've used a fingerprint sensor from anybody else recently, there's just enough of a delay where you're like, is it working?
Would you call it a deal breaker? Would you go that far?
No, I wouldn't call it a deal breaker, but I would also say that when the market is so competitive and you're already behind, like, having something that is like integral to the functioning of the device like that be a potential negative point is not going to help you. That's the argument that I would make. Is that, okay, so Michael Pepper's saying here that solely got Google banned in India and other countries.
Yeah. I remember that.
So yeah, I mean, the issues with that and such, but
that's right, because it wasn't just a detection; it was a radar thing, right? Yeah.
The fingerprint reader on the back of the Pixels in the past was always awesome. Why not? And why not put a fingerprint reader on the power button? Because
here's the thing.
Those always work great too.
I agree with you. I think on the power button would be nice. I mean, the device is clearly thick enough to do it.
Yeah.
Even on the curved one. I don't think they want to put on the back for aesthetics reasons. And I understand that, because if you look at an iPhone, it's clean. If you look at a Samsung, they're clean, right?
Well, here's another thing about the fingerprint reader on the back. While it was probably, when you're holding it in your hand, the best, most natural placement for a fingerprint reader, when you're driving in your car, and it's in a car mount.
Yep.
Like you can't get to it. And no matter what anybody says,
one thing with that,
every once in a while.
One thing with that is that, I mean, I'm assuming that if you're in the car, you're the driver, you shouldn't be on your phone. And two, if you're paired up, I mean, you can have it so the phone is unlocked when you're in your vehicle. Like, for example, I have on I can't remember the Michael knows what it's called. When I'm here at home, my phone's unlocked. I turn that off right now for demonstration purposes here during the stream. When it's on me, it's unlocked. On person, unlock, whatever. And when it's in the car, it's unlocked.
I found that feature to be inconsistent. Like
Really?
it's supposed to be unlocked.
Smart lock.
Yeah, smart lock is.
Yeah.
And same with Samsung phones and everything. Maybe I'm not using it right. I don't know. Sometimes it's unlocked, sometimes it's not. Whether when I set it for the phone or I set it for the car. And I mean, yes, you want to be hands-free and not touching your phone when you're driving, but let's be honest. Everybody at a stoplight or whatever, you might have to get into your phone to press a button or two.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that made the on the back fingerprint reader more of a challenge, right? And so to me, like Vernon says here, the Z Flip 3 scanner on the power button is like boom. Those Samsung scanners on the power button are just nearly instantaneous. And once you get used to it, I did have to get used to the Fold, but of course the Fold was an issue because it was so big. And I'm one of those people who holds my phone with my left hand and interacts with it with my right hand, right? So some people do it differently, and because I had a pretty decent back and forth with somebody on Twitter,
Okay.
just talking about how they hold their phone.
Okay.
So because some people were like, "Oh my God, it's in the perfect place. It's just right. I just hit it all the time," and I was like, "You have to explain to me how do you hold your phone?" Because when I'm holding my phone, it's on the total opposite side of where I need it to be, and so we actually exchanged pictures on Twitter of how we held our phones, and so
Okay.
This person was.
Can you bring up the tweets? Can you bring up the pictures? Let's see.
It's a long time ago. I'd have to dig for it.
Okay.
But anyway, that to me was part of getting used to the Fold 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd rather everybody just buy Face ID from Apple, and we could be done with it.
Yeah.
Because Face ID, I'm sorry, this is not an Apple Homer thing. I mean, most Apple users would not know this. The reaction cam. Most Apple users would not know this, though, because they would have not used the wide variety of other manufacturers' devices and had any kind of experience with their security stuff, right? Most Apple people are just like, look, the face, unless you're over 70 and then you still want a home button. But that to me is still the best, most transparent, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Transparency. Whenever the security happens, it's not even you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And some of these fingerprint readers have gotten pretty close to that, but that's one thing that the Pixel is kind of bumming me out about. And I got to be honest too, that okay, so here these are the three things: fingerprint reader, glossy back.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the glossy back.
Glossy back, man,
I barely made it 48 hours.
When you and I were on the Facebook call, I was like, why is this annoying me so much?
Yeah.
And then I realized that it's slipping and sliding everywhere, and you can't just go to a store and buy a case for this thing.
I wanted to make it at least for the weekend. I made it to Friday night, just over 24 hours, just under 48 hours or whatever. It was Saturday, maybe it was Saturday. I can't remember. And I'm like, okay, I got to put the later case on, and then I'm just so much happier with it now.
Yeah, I just I would have. I was at Best Buy the other day to get the TV, and I was like, well, maybe they have at least one case that I could put on this thing, and they just didn't. Which is another. I mean, it's another issue with anything other than Samsung or Apple, is that it's really more of an effort to get accessories for these phones, right?
You need to give Ringkey a call. They'll send you some cases.
Man, I don't even all those case companies send me emails, and I
This one's a
I don't-
clear, and then this one's a matte, fusion matte finish, and then this one is just a clear. This is just a regular clear. I don't see anything spectacular with these, but I mean, they make nice. They're not. I've never had any yellowing issues with their cases or anything like that. So shout out to Rinke. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've ultimately become like an OEM case guy.
You know what? I'm really upset that they didn't make any fabric cases, because the fabric cases that Google has made for Pixels before are awesome.
Yeah, but think about what kind of germ magnets those fabric cases had to be.
Well, I mean,
Right?
I think cases in general are disgusting.
A lot of cases have like that microband built in and everything, so the plastic cases can have a level of germ blocking.
Let me
right?
tell you something about case companies, as someone that used to sell this stuff for 6.5 years. Okay? A lot of it's the same stuff. It just comes from the same factory. It's packaged a little bit different, and then there's some little bit different marketing or different name behind it.
Oh yeah.
Where when you pay a premium for a case, and I'm gonna randomize some names here, like Spigen, Nomad, Otterbox, Lifeproof, UAG. Those companies do their own in-house testing in terms of microband, like you said. Like, and I know there's actually cases out there that actually have microband in them, which actually is a good product. Just. Yeah, if you can't, come to me if you have questions. I'm just saying that, like, all types of cases are going to pick up stuff. I used to sell a product that used to test for germs. This is before COVID. And all our cases, didn't matter what material it was, didn't matter if it was micro this or that, or how expensive or how cheap it was, they all picked up the same amount of data.
Yeah.
Or germs and stuff. Yeah.
As Bob put it, Bob's got himself a phone soap. Phone Soap sent me like 4 of their original phone soaps, and now I do believe that UV stuff, that like Phone Soap, and now there are others that are out there that have sort of proliferated since COVID came around. Like,
Yeah.
they really do kill whatever's on there.
Phone
So
soap's one of the better ones. Yeah.
yeah, if you drop it in there, like
Yeah.
they even have models now that are wireless chargers, and so you could drop it in there.
There's a lot of fly-by-night, and they'll put a light in there that looks like a UV light. It's like a purple light, but it's not, right?
Yeah.
And you can tell it's not because, well, first of all, like, it's cheap as heck, and like you could just kind of tell what a real UV light is. So like if you're gonna get something like that, definitely stick with brands like Phone Soap. Like it's kind of like, like if this is your Ferrari or your iPhone or whatever, don't put.
I think
nothing
this
against.
would be your Nissan.
Put some good tires on it.
Did
Did you call it a Nissan?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Maybe maybe it's a Mazda.
You're so angry.
It's not a Honda, and it's not a Toyota.
What?
right?
Okay, hold on. What carrier had the green?
I got this for full price at Best Buy, and I just I got a Verizon SIM.
Best Buy
So-
USA got the colors. All the carriers up here and Best Buy, black. That's it. If we want colors in Canada, we have to buy it directly.
Well, that's because it's so dark up there all the time anyway. Nobody ever.
No, it's because most of the stock went to the U.S. In fact, for the last 2 days, I've been trying to buy the 30-watt charger off the Google Canada website. The sale finally went through today. There's nothing wrong with my credit card or anything.
America.
Yeah, it just seems like all the stock has been allocated in the United States. And that makes sense because even your state of California has a higher population than all of Canada. So, whatever.
When I was trying to sign into this phone, I was looking for America,
America.
and,
All right.
and I couldn't find it.
We were
I had
not.
to
We
go
were.
United States.
So, do you want to wrap up the Pixel talk before we kind of dive into kind of like an AMA
okay,
kind of thing?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
my 3 things: the glossy back, the fingerprint reader, and the button placement. The button placement. It seems like it was.
It's bugging me too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't like
just-
having the power up here. It drives me nuts.
For one thing, the volume rocker is the same size as like
I
the
know.
iPhone power button.
Yeah, why didn't they
So,
make it like a little bit like how on the 5 or 5A it feels different,
And then Marquez Brownlee pointed out that they used to have the different color accents on the power buttons.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
took that away. Like that would help a lot.
It would.
because
It would.
I'm just like I've become used to using my middle finger
Yep.
for the power, right? And so now I'm trying to like retrain myself, but
Yeah.
it's 5 days in and I'm still like annoyed as crap by it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not. I mean, that's neither here nor there. If I use this,
These
phone
are like
for
super
a
like
month,
picky. Are they deal break? I don't think these things are deal breakers, but they're obviously things that people should be aware of, right?
overall, I mean, and this is totally subjective. I said this on Twitter today. Totally subjective, but there's just something about this phone that when I'm using it, I'm not compelled to like keep using it. You know,
Really,
like,
I'm
like
having a good time with it. I'm loving
when
taking
I-
pictures and yeah.
when I open up the Z Fold 3, like even though I'm not doing anything different, it's still like a sort of fun experience. The iPhone is always like kind of a fun experience. But something about this, and maybe it's just because I haven't fooled around with it for long enough. But it's just not like super compelling to me. The pictures are great. I love the fonts.
Yeah. I was about to ask you about that.
I do. I mean, I just think the way that they do the way that they do all the notifications and the little things that they do, like put your calendar notifications up here and stuff, like I like all that stuff. But for some reason, I'm just not excited about it. And that's like when I get a new phone, I want to be like, yeah, man, I'm jazzed. I can't put this thing down. And I just haven't had that. I haven't had that reaction with the Pixel 6.
Can I show a couple of pictures to people? Because I was really impressed with this. So this right here, I'm passenger in the vehicle. My wife was driving. This is on Saturday, or no, this is on Halloween because we went around to see the grandparents or anything like that. This is going west. 7x times in 7x like into the optical. I'm the passenger. I would never be able to get a clear photo like this with my Samsung. No way. Maybe with my iPhone, but I'm so impressed. And then I took this portrait photo of my wife with my aunt's new puppy. Her name is Frankie. Not my wife, the dog.
Yeah.
This portrait is just
That's a good looking picture for sure. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously it takes great pictures and all that kind of stuff. Again, it's a totally subjective thing for me right now that I'm kind of like meh. But and that's why I'm not doing my review like tomorrow. I'm gonna give it like to the weekend.
I'm giving mine like a month.
Weekend.
Yeah.
But last thing we'll say about the Pixel Abhijit. I'm sorry, I'm botching your name. Apologies. But any thoughts on the Pixel being the most intelligent quote unquote phone?
Hard to say. It's only been a few days. It really begins to learn and be more intuitive after 2 weeks, I find, with Pixels.
Yeah, that's kind of been the thing with stock Android, especially is supposed to like learn your stuff, and so for me, like I don't know if I would call it the most intelligent phone. I don't know. I don't want to like go full on painfully honest rant about it, but at the same time, like. There have been numerous moments throughout these days where I want to rip my SIM card out of it.
Really?
And put it back in a phone that doesn't annoy me.
I think it's really important that you make sure you note those things and bring them up in your review.
Yeah, which I will for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not for any other reason. It's just like it's not for any specific reason. There's just something about it that is not like, girding my loins.
Do you miss? My last question for you about this. Do you miss having like the extra little things that Samsung throws in? Like, I'm not talking about extra apps, but it seems like there's little things like in the UI that I kind of miss from my Samsung. Yeah. But again, they're not deal breakers. I think it's just because it's different.
I know that there are some things that I miss. Like at this point, I haven't thought about it hard enough to realize what they are. But there are certain things about One UI that are just like that added bit extra on top of.
One UI is nice.
Yeah. So there are some things that that I do miss. I definitely, if we're talking Android versus Android, I definitely miss the Fold 3. You know,
Okay.
just,
Yeah.
and it's again like, I don't know. The Fold 3 is still like, still kind of warms the cockles of my soul.
He warms the cockles, people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, iPhone again. An iPhone is an iPhone is an iPhone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've got an iPhone 12 now. Do I notice that it's not the iPhone 13 anymore? No.
Probably not.
No, I mean, sure, there are certain things about the iPhone 13 that I liked a lot. The pictures on the iPhone 13 were the best pictures I've ever taken with a smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's not without even diving into the video stuff like cinema, whatever, blah blah blah. Just straight up the best camera I ever used on a smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's coming from the iPhone 12, which I didn't think was the best camera that Apple had put out in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's a weird phone year, and now that we've pretty much gotten the last of the phones that we're going to get for the year, I can start really seriously thinking, at least among the phones that I have used this year.
Like phone of the year for you?
Yeah. And
someone asked me that question the other day, and I don't know if I'm qualified. I don't think I'm qualified enough to say anything because I've used a lot of mid-ranges, and the only top-tier devices I've used, and again, nothing against those mid-range devices. Those mid-range devices acknowledge that they are mid-range devices, but the only top-tier I've used is 11 Pro Max, which is, 2 years old now? S21 Plus, which I would put on, it's just a different size, but it's definitely a Galaxy, it's top tier there.
Mm-hmm.
And now the Pixel 6 Pro. So, I mean, I said this before, the Galaxy S21 Plus it was a complete workhorse. You guys know I've been using it since October. It's gone now. It was part of the trade-in. But hey, my bill went down and I own this phone. So it worked out to be a pretty good deal. But I could probably recommend a very good mid-range. Absolutely, in terms of what I've done. So I might do that. But in terms of like top tier, you definitely, I mean, you've tried them all this year. So
at least the ones that are available in the U.S.
Yeah, and that makes sense because the majority of our audience is going to probably go through a carrier. You don't do a lot of import stuff, right? Like, I've done a few imports. Like, as part of the deal, I had to give up that Realme GT 5G that I won from ISA. I really didn't want to. It's a lovely phone. But I have this is the Master Edition, which is like the downgrade.
Right, yeah.
And this thing has been a lot of fun. I have to give this one back to Ryan though, unfortunately. So
yeah. Well, so Alan asks, am I utilizing the smart features of the Pixel? Pixel is a phone for those who appreciate smart features.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I mean, I think I know what it means, but
I mean, I know that Google Assistant is more responsive. Google Assistant is more integrated with this and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you still have, with Samsung phones, you still have the issue of there's Bixby and there's Google Assistant and which one do you use and yada, yada, yada. I mean, I have to be honest.
Bixby.
I actually used some Bixby features. Now, what they're doing with Bixby is they're turning Bixby into something like shortcuts on iOS.
okay.
So Bixby is more integrated into how the phone works. It's always been that way, but I think they're changing the focus of it. So it's not so much they're saying it's a virtual assistant as it is like a shortcut kind of thing like iOS shortcuts are. But yeah, I mean, there's some stuff in Bixby that I found myself being like, oh, that's cool. But to answer Alan's question, like, I have to admit that I very rarely use voice assistants.
Mm-hmm.
Which at times I probably should. It would make my life a lot easier, but I just, I started using phones before there were voice assistants. And so I just still use them the way that I have always used the phone. So the answer to Alan's question for me would probably be no. Although I do recognize that I could make more of an effort. So yeah, that's the thing. I think that's one of the things that's really, really comforting to me about an iPhone is you can get a great experience from an iPhone and never use any of like the out there features that it has.
I only
mode or any of that stuff. You can have a great baseline experience, right?
I only recently started using like the focus features. So like nothing comes through except for emergency or people that call over and over, like between 8 and 12, and then between 12 and 1, it's on. It's not turned on. And I've started using like that, and I think I like that kind of stuff, but.
My problem is like I set up a work focus and I set up like some other stuff, and then all of a sudden like I'm going through the day and I'm like, wow, nobody's sent me any emails or calls or.
And then you feel disconnected when you have all these emails
and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that little icon's there. What if I turn that off? And it's just
yeah.
So
yes,
I mean.
Science.
That stuff definitely needs some. You need to like figure out how it wants to work and then how it's going to work for you. But I do like that stuff a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in iOS 15 that I think is really cool. And Mavericks, Monterey on the MacBook.
Oh, did you put Monterey on?
Well, I mean, I bought the new one and it just came with Monterey on it. So.
Oh yeah, you showed me earlier. You showed me this beautiful 48-inch television and then a 16-inch Mac with a goddamn notch. It's so obvious. It's like right there.
It's really weird. Like I said this to you before. It's really weird to me. Like people always, when you show them the thing, people are like, "Look at that notch."
Yeah.
But I have not noticed it one single time.
Have you seen the video from Snazzy on Twitter where he's using apps and it goes into the notch?
That to me is pretty typical of like early days kind of
it's a developer
kind of
thing.
stuff, So those are the kinds of things that get buttoned up over the course of the next like 3 to 6 months, maybe a year out at the outside.
Yeah.
But and so to me, it's not a big deal. Is it silly that it happened? Yeah, but I mean sometimes Quinn goes like so over the top. It seems like I can't believe they would even sell this. I'm like, come on.
I like Quinn. I like that he's over the top. We were supposed to have him on the show.
But that was last year, and then
I'll get him back.
I like him too, but sometimes he can just be a little bit much. It's like, come on, dude. I mean, you drive a Tesla. Don't tell me you're not familiar with
this
customers.
This is not how you get guests on the show, Jason.
But I mean, he's complaining about like the UI not quite working right on the new MacBook, and he drives a Tesla, and we know what kind of nightmares they've had with their software integrations.
Is he a bad person because he drives a Tesla?
No. I'm just saying that like he has dealt with worse problems than.
Well, did his self-driving car go through a building?
No. It's just Teslas have had a long reputation of like the software not always quite doing everything it's supposed to. Like you just hear of people whose like cars go like freeze and they can't turn them on, and there's no like button press. There's no button press combination you can get to like reboot your Tesla, right? So it's just there are growing pains in taking.
Did you not get approved by Tesla for trading in your vehicle?
Oh no, I didn't even try. I won't buy a car over the internet. I won't do it.
Yeah.
I have to drive the car.
I went past. Oh, I should have. I lifted the footage. It's on my other. It's on. I don't know if I have it anymore. It's still in the car, but I drove past the Tesla dealership here in Calgary the other day, and there was a Tesla that got towed in, and the whole back end was just destroyed. I just couldn't believe it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Michael Pepper brings. I mean, this is concise.
Okay,
Quinn
stop.
Comes up, he doesn't come off as dumb so much as like obtuse, right? He's being purposefully obtuse about something, and then he exaggerates to get the clicks, and people talk about it just like we're talking about it now. I mean, that's the YouTube game. He's not. I'm not. If he's listening right now, I'm not telling him anything he doesn't know.
Okay. All right. Let's. Okay. So we're done. We're done with the Pixel talk. I don't want to talk about notches anymore. Let's talk about.
Whatever they want to talk about.
Well, okay, yeah, people. It's a Q&A. Ask us anything. Ask us. Ask Jason.
40,
I'm just the co-host.
41 or something minutes left. So
can I plug my thing real quick? Just while we kind of transition, wait for some questions.
Zach's got a show 10:15 tonight.
Well, yeah,
45 minutes
that.
after this is over.
Okay,
and
and
then his Pixel channel. Zach
No,
Talks
not
Pixel.
not in the Pixel channel. On my regular Zach Talks. Anyway, I'm streaming every day this month. I don't know why. I'm joining Viper. He's doing it every day, and I figured, what the heck? So I'm doing every single day stream. And I launched a new Pixel channel, and it's been going fabulous. Zach Talks Pixel. The growth is good. The views, I'm gonna hit 4,000 views probably by this weekend. Within a week, it's not hard.
Nice.
But yeah, I got to hit. So if you're into Pixel stuff, check it out. If you're not, don't.
Yeah. So Zach's got all kinds of new good stuff. He's working his ass off. By the time we hit November 15th, Zach will be totally out of gas. And
I hope I don't crash, man.
And be yelling at everybody like.
I don't stream till 8:15 my time. I'm done work every day at 5, so that gives me 3 hours or so, right? And then, but the only exception is Tuesdays here because I done work at 5, and then you and I start at 6. This is my time, Mountain, and then we hopefully finish at 7:30 my time, and then 45 minutes later I go do my thing. Yeah. So Tuesdays are always interesting.
So yeah. Moises says, I think Jason's Apple sheepness blinds him to other good stuff. Now, here's the thing, though. Apple sheepness is blind. Apple sheep don't have any experience with anything else. They just blindly believe that Apple is the best, and they use their own experience and the sort of confirmation bias that they get into to back that up, right? But I use everything else. I use everything else, right? And so because I use everything else, I think I'm in a much better position to say I prefer what Apple does over this. Now, is that objective? No, that's subjective. And other people would have a decent argument to go the opposite way. But it bothers me when people mistrust my ability to be sort of to be able to take like my own personal preference and recognize what it is, put it to the side, and then judge things based on a certain scale, right? I mean, ultimately, and I always say this, ultimately, I've been an Apple user for 3 decades. I know that system. I like that system. I like what they're doing with the company. I like the products that they're making. None of that's, I mean, that shouldn't surprise anybody. But I still go out and I get the other stuff. My life would be a lot easier if I just went out and got the Apple stuff and then didn't talk about anything else. Right? Because then there wouldn't be this cognitive dissonance for half of my audience.
Yeah.
You know, half my audience thinks I'm an Apple sheep. The other half thinks I hate Apple. Right? So it's just like a total cognitive dissonance thing, which it makes it.
That's why I'm going to keep on doing.
Hard.
That's why I'm going to keep on doing what I do, which is the streams over on Zach Talks Tech. And the reason I want to do this daily thing in November is just because it's a nice challenge. I did it last year. I did in September last year, and I think I did November last year. Anyway, and it's a good challenge and everything like that. It's a good, and it's fun to think of a new topic and value every day. And I'll be perfectly honest. I'm not trying, but I mean, I'm pretty sure the channel is transitioning over to being just full-time stream, right? And the reason I launched the Pixel channel is not because it's Pixel season, but because I've been a Pixel fan since the Nexus 4, and I've owned all the Pixels minus the 5A and 5 and 5A, and I've always wanted to do a Pixel channel, and there's not a lot of dedicated Pixel channels out there. Now, the algorithm and blah, 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 and everything, especially here in North America, says if you want to be successful in tech, or do an Apple channel, whether it's good or bad, right? Positive or negative. I use Apple stuff. I have MacBook Pro right here. There's an iPhone here. There's an iPad here. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm always grabbing my Android first, right? So, yeah, that's why.
What she said. So, anyway.
Zach Talks iPhone.
Zach Talks iPhone is coming soon.
If I end up getting, I have to make sure you can't hear me. If I end up getting my son an iPhone for Christmas, which we're looking at doing, that actually might happen.
Oh, I see. We'll
see.
Look who it is. The man who brings the fire himself, Mr. Viper.
I'm sorry. I missed his stream. I was at a meeting today, and I felt bad because Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel bad. I do feel bad. Sorry.
You know what I'm doing in November?
Hmm.
Writing a novel.
Are you really? You're writing like a follow-up book or like something different or what?
So November is National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo. It's just a thing that people started like 15, 20 years ago or something. And so now it's like November just turns into a time when it's like people are like, oh, I'll write 1,000 words a day for the month of November, and by the end I'll have a novel. It won't be anything anyone wants to read, but and I've been wanting to jumpstart and get back into some daily writing like I had been, and I've just sort of let it go.
Like actual physical writing, or are you writing on the iPad?
iPad.
Oh, okay,
With
cool.
But I use a program called Scrivener. It's a super great organizational tool for creative writing, novels and such.
Here we got a $5 super chat.
Woo! $5 super chat.
Woo!
What kind of noise do we have to say for 8ski? Thank you. Thanks, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh, actually.
Oh. All right. No shave November. There also used to be no nut November, but then
Wow.
but then
Jesus
today
Christ.
I saw like I think it was like all nut November or something like. I don't know. I mean, these kids are crazy these days. These kids, I don't even know. Even know. So now we got to get to the Q&A portion because we got a half hour left, and we told people there'd be AMA. So.
Yeah.
This
Wow.
is the AMA. Like whenever you've got more than like 50 people in a stream, it gets hard to see like everybody's questions. So while it is not a requirement at all, if you have a question, super chats get bumped up so we can see them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just continue to peruse
Ramble.
the thing. But what kind of questions do you have for us? Oh boy, what is this? If you could go to Rolling Stones, Michael Jackson, or the Harlem Globetrotters. I saw the Harlem Globetrotters when I was a kid.
Michael Jackson.
Man, I've never seen the Rolling Stones, although I did have opportunities. Michael Jackson was I think because the Rolling Stones are mostly alive.
Oh, alt dad text in the chat. Alt dad text here. Alarms. Narrative.
So I think I'd have to say Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, although I think I would enjoy the Stones concert like soup to nuts a little bit more. Michael Jackson for the hits and the experience. That's what I'm thinking.
Do you miss LG like a girlfriend?
Oh yeah. Do I miss LG?
Like I think he means obviously the phones.
Man,
It
yes.
hasn't even been a year.
It hasn't been a year.
When did they call it quits? It was during the summer, right?
No, it was like starting in like January, first of the year is when it started to come out that they were not going to.
Was it January?
Yeah, because they haven't put out a phone since last year. The LG Wing was the last thing they put out, if I recall correctly, at least flagshipy. So yeah, I do miss them. And it's been kind of a weird year because I felt all year like something was missing from my YouTube experience. Mm-hmm. And I mean, think about how many LG videos I would put out on the various phones throughout the year.
You've done a lot. You've done. Did you have a thing with them? Did you have a relationship with them?
Toward the end, I got the V60 from them. I got the Wing from them. I got the Velvet from them. But that was right at the very end.
They kept on telling me we don't have any review units. Then they see like 30 phones go out to other people. I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it's all relative. But yeah, they did send me stuff toward the end. But I've been making LG videos since the V30.
My first Android was an HTC, but after that it was an LG. It was the Nexus. Yeah, the Nexus 4 was made by LG, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so was the 5 and the 5X. Yeah, LG did the Nexus phones for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I do miss them. There hasn't been anything that's come along to replace the things that LG did. Although I have to say that Apple making the headphone jack on the new MacBooks a high impedance headphone jack is kind of a cool thing. So I mean but I want an audio focused phone again, and there's nobody that's doing it. So
Didn't Sony put a high quality DAC in their latest thing?
Oh, I don't know. Those phones cost like $1,800, and it's like if I'm going to spend a lot of money on a ZV on the same sensor that's in a ZV1 or a ZV10 or whatever it is, I'm just going to buy the camera. I'm not going to, and it's half the price.
I'm gonna quiz you here real quick, okay? What music video is this from? You must.
Oh, that's
know
Land
this.
of Confusion by Genesis.
Yeah, dude. Totally. Watch
Could
it over the weekend.
How could you? I mean, for one thing, I love Genesis. Not a big fan of the more like commercial poppy Genesis toward the end, but still, Land of Confusion. I mean, I grew up.
Do you ever hear the
stuff.
Disturbed version of Land of Confusion?
No.
You know Disturbed, right? Disturbed.
I know of them. I've never.
Okay,
heard
they did a cover of Land of Confusion. Dude, it's really good. It's really good. It was to the point where I used to play it during my shows when I used to DJ. I used to have people come up to me saying, "Is this Genesis? I'm like, no, this is Disturbed. Like, this is really good. You should look it up. I think you'd like it."
It's like the Alien Ant Farm version of.
No. This is way better. This is way better.
That Alien Ant Farm version of that might goes. What? Annie, are you?
Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal.
They had the kid doing all the things, and then.
Yeah, I mean that was a pretty good video. So
Yeah.
Preston asks, do you own EVs or hybrids? Would you own one?
Yes, Genesis.
What about Preston?
Okay? Do you own EV? No, I believe in oil and gas. I work in that industry. I've worked in that industry. I have friends and family that work in the industry. I do believe in climate change and what's happening, but as for people saying, "Oh, we need to switch it all off and live in boxes and under rocks," no. I believe there needs to be a smooth transition, and there is a world in our future where we can all live in harmony with oil and gas and solar and wind and unicorn farts and whatever else you want to power your home with.
You do know that the oil is gonna not be there anymore, right?
I know, but not in our lifetime.
Well, okay. Be that as it may.
Anyway, would I
don't look at buying an EV or a hybrid or driving any of those cars.
I would drive a hybrid. I would drive a hybrid.
I don't look at that as like making any kind of stance on the environment.
No, I don't think so either. But I know where the conversation goes.
We owned a Prius.
Look at Dawn. Freaking hippie.
We've owned a Prius, and the thing about
you had a Prius?
We did. We don't anymore.
Do you ever see that Simpsons episode? Step on it, Dad. I can't. It's a Prius.
So the reason that I was high on like the hybrids is that Prius has like an 8-gallon gas tank, right? And it's not that small, but it's a very small gas tank. It costs like $20 to fill it up, right? Mm-hmm. And then you get 300 miles out of it. Mm-hmm. So, okay, $20 you get $25 you get 300 miles of driving, right? Uh-huh. You know how much my truck, you know how much it takes to get 300 miles of driving out of my truck?
Don't tell me. I know it's a lot.
Freaking almost $80.
What kind of truck are you driving now?
2015 Silverado.
Nice. At least you have a real truck.
Well, it is a real truck. Yeah. I mean, what do you think? I'm going to drive one of them rice burner trucks?
No. At least you're not driving a shitty Ford or something like that.
I was channeling my dead father there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It just got dark in here, folks.
My dad hated foreign cars so desperately.
Oh, my dad doesn't. He's it's domestic. And then in the later years, he's like, these imports, you don't have to fix them as often. They might not be that bad. And now he drives a Nissan Murano and loves it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my dad was a Chevy guy. And he used to call Japanese cars rice burners. It's a whole thing. Anyway.
Just a little bit racist, everybody.
Nah.
Cancel this man now.
I mean, it's more uninformed. Yes? I mean, they obviously don't run on rice.
It's like the other day, I realized that my grandmother used to not swear, but she used to say cotton picking da-da-da. And then I just realized, holy shit, Grandma. That's fucking racist.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
I will say, okay, so we owned the Prius. We owned a Hyundai or a Honda Civic EV.
Okay.
We owned a Chevy Volt, and now we own a BMW 335i. That's an electric vehicle. That's a.
You had a Beamer? You were a Beamer driver?
I don't have a Beamer. My wife has one. She's an
Did
executive.
she? Okay. Did she take the class where they learn not to signal
No.
and drive like complete douche?
No,
bag? Did she take that course?
We're from the sticks, man. We're from the sticks. We know how to drive. Okay. Sometimes we choose not to. Sometimes we choose to just like annoy the city kids. But no, I mean it's so funny having learned to drive in West Virginia. Like you've never been anxiety riddled until you're on like a 45-degree angle in a standard vehicle at a stoplight, and you have to get off the clutch and onto the gas and not hit the car behind you that's pulled up too close. I mean, that is the height of anxiety. and I dealt with that like I never drove an automatic until I was in my mid-20s.
I've only driven a stick like twice in my life.
Oh man. Took my driving test on a 1982 Ford Escort.
Holy shit, dude.
4 on the floor.
My mom used to drive an Escort.
Yeah.
What a piece of crap.
Well, yeah. So my mom for a while she would get my grandfather. My grandfather had a van for his sewing machine business.
Yeah.
And then he always had like some kind of car, and then he and my grandmother's main car would be a Mercury Grand Marquis. Okay,
my
so
God.
that was their car.
Wow.
But he always got some kind of like little not a beater, but just like a little cheap car.
Yeah.
And so when he got rid of the Ford Escort, my mom got it. Then when he got rid of the Dodge Omni, my mom got it. And so I took my driving test. I took my driving test on the Ford Escort, and then my first car that I owned was the Dodge Omni.
Wow.
And so I've done a lot of. I could probably start a car channel. People don't know this about me, but you know. So okay, what other questions do we have here?
Someone says Cybertruck on here, but I still have my down payment, my $50 where you put down for the Cybertruck. I still have it there. I haven't heard anything yet.
Cybertruck, I don't.
I put it down just for the hell of it, because, you know.
Jason, will you be reviewing the Beat Fit Pro? They just kind of snuck up on me. I didn't know they were even coming, so I imagine yes. Okay, this is a good question. What are your favorite guilty pleasure power ballads? Now I don't believe in guilty pleasures. You can't like that's too Catholic for me. I don't.
Can I go first? Can I go first?
Yes.
Okay. I know the question's for Jason, but I'm here.
No, it's for all of them.
I'm going to say November Rain, the live version with the big... Okay, stop. Because we've already done this before, okay? Stop. It's the live one that has the big piano opening. Love that song. And then last night, I introduced my son to some 90s, I think late 90s alternative. Do you know the song If You Could Only See by Tonic?
No.
If You Could Only See by Tonic. Anyway... I introduced my son to that. We've now coined that the fall song. So we're gonna listen to that for the fall. Crank the car. And what else? What else is really good? Meatloaf.
Ooh.
Anything for love, but I won't do that. And I'm talking about like the 8-minute long version, right?
Yeah. See, now I can get down with like 70s Meatloaf, right?
Yeah.
But that like comeback Meatloaf, where I mean the same songwriter Jim Steinman wrote all those songs, right?
Yeah.
And he also wrote Total Eclipse of the Heart for Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah.
So, like, Jim Steinman, legendary songwriter, Meatloaf was his voice.
Okay. There's a question here about some celebrities. I want to get to this one for sure, but keep on going. Yeah.
Okay. So, guilty pleasure power. I always wanted to know what would he never says what he wouldn't do. Right? That always annoyed me.
He answered it during the Spice Girl movie, but I won't do that. But the washroom where it was overflowing?
Can we just not remember that there was a Spice Girls movie? Can we all just agree like
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you guys something that a lot of people don't know about me. I was, and I still am, a huge Spice Girls fan. I'm dead serious. I have... Oh, man. You know what? Let's move on. Never mind. Let's move
So
on
I
to the next question.
got to answer this question first. Favorite guilty pleasure power ballad?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's got to be a power ballad,
Power ballad.
geez, every rose has its thorn.
Oh,
No,
come
'cause
on. No.
yeah,
Poison?
probably an REO Speedwagon song, Air Supply, but there's no.
Oh,
power
Air
to
Supply.
it.
Air Supply's good.
See, I have a like, if we're gonna talk guilty pleasures, yacht rock in general is like one of my guilty pleasures. Like I will. These days, I'm so
Keep
sensitive.
on
I'm so.
loving you.
I guess I should also say that my second concert ever was to go see Chicago during the
Ooh.
Chicago.
I just
70
recorded a 4K concert with them on my new TV here.
So this was back in the day when they had like all those love songs that Peter Cetera sang. So yeah, went to that junior high school. So I'm maybe any of those Chicago songs, but yeah, I like a lot. The Yacht Rock channel on Sirius XM is very good. It is.
It is.
But I think they moved it off the satellite and only onto the app.
Okay, there's a question down here. I don't know how far you can go, but a
Okay,
date
yeah.
with
Taylor
Swift, Miley Cyrus,
Cy-
or Katy Perry. I'm gonna say it real quick. I'm gonna say Miley Cyrus because she just seems like such a freak, and I'm down with that.
No, I dated a girl that was just like Miley Cyrus.
Are you
And
sure?
Oh yes.
She's pretty unique, dude.
Seriously.
Okay.
I also dated a girl that was just like Taylor Swift. Katy Perry for the win.
Real okay.
Yeah,
It's
because
because she kissed a girl and she liked it.
Well, I mean, you can tell that she's a little bit weird, but not so weird that it'll annoy you. I don't know.
True.
I mean, like I'm not thinking date. I'm thinking relationship. Like Miley Cyrus would be fun to date for less than 6 months. Katy Perry and Taylor Swift.
limit.
Well, seriously, because after
Okay.
6 months, man, you can't do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but yeah. So, did I ever see the Sex Pistols? No, because I think they broke up in the late
Yeah.
70s, and I was like 10. Christopher Cross was great. Ooh, Think of Laura. Remember that? Love theme from General Hospital. Did you guys not have General Hospital? General Hospital. This was like 1982.
Oh yeah,
Christopher Cross,
it was on during the day all the time up here. Yeah.
Luke and Laura, star-crossed lovers of General Hospital. Luke is supposed to be dead, and Christopher Cross wrote this love theme. Think of Laura. It was amazing. It was amazing. All right. So, more questions? Did we miss any?
No, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Outside of tech,
Yep.
what kind of channels do you subscribe to on YouTube? And you make sure you never miss. I'll go first real quick. I never miss a Philip DeFranco show. I've never missed a Philip DeFranco show in like 6 or 7 years. 2, dash cam videos, but they have to be North America because I can't stand the Russian stuff. Okay.
The Russians are crazy.
And-
I don't know how anybody survives in Russia at all.
It's all true, dude. I have a friend that goes over there all the time at their work. And 3, ASMR, but specific ASMRs, including Heather Defect, so good. Amaranth, give her all the grief you want. She puts out terrific ASMR stuff. And I'm talking like really good, like, yeah, they're nice to look at, but I turn them on in the background and put the earbuds in, and it helps so much with the anxiety and falling asleep. And 3rd is one, she's Russian, called Kitty Claw. So it's all subtitles, right? But you're there for the sounds. Those 3 gals have been unbelievably good for the stress. And say what you will about ASMR. Do not knock it till you try it. Put the earbuds in. Go. Anyway, what do you watch, Jason?
So, okay. First, I want to say that did you know that there's actually a genetic proclivity, a marker for getting like totally grossed out and annoyed by the sound of people eating or making sounds with their mouth? There actually is.
There's certain ASMR stuff that I can't stand. Like the thing right now on Twitch is licking the fake ear things. I can't watch or listen to that. But when they're doing stuff like tapping and stuff like that, I love it. It drifts me off. It's great.
Yeah, ASMR for me is just generally kind of like I can't listen to people.
I discovered it by accident.
So anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, but my okay. So there's this guy Mike who has this channel called That Chapter. It's a true crime. It's a true crime show. and he does videos twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. So I rarely miss one of those. I mean, sometimes he'll do something on something that I'm already like well versed in, and I won't watch. But that chapter, there's this guy Andrew Masters who does like studio tours. He lives in Nashville, and he just goes to different people's studios, and I rarely miss those. They've been going on for quite a while now, and lately, I don't know, he got sponsored, and it's just been weird. But, and what else? I mean, there are a lot of music channels that I watch almost all the time.
Like people playing music, or just like music history, or
like studio guitar, like tech videos, but about music stuff.
Okay.
And about music. So if there's like a piece of gear or something in recording, little things that I'm interested in, and I kind of just go from thing to thing, and the algorithm just responds and like feeds me stuff for a few days, and then I go on to another thing. But yeah, so there's dirty secret. There's not a single tech channel that I watch religiously.
Not even Zach Talks Pixel?
Well,
he has 5 videos already.
I'm not saying like of the big ones, of the ones that like everybody watches.
I got notified yesterday. Painfully Honest Tech has subscribed to you. Yes,
I did. I told you.
I have arrived. There's a question in here. This is really good. Jason, favorite Canadian band. Zach, favorite American band. You go first. Canadian band.
Favorite Canadian band. Let's see. Well, there's Grapes of Wrath. But I can't say they were my favorite because I had one record and I liked it. Then there's Neil Young. And I think Neil Young, even though he was not in Canadian bands, was himself Canadian. So you could count him. Joni Mitchell, also Canadian. But honestly, if I have to choose a Canadian band, there is but one. It's a 4-letter word. RUSH. No
Rush.
doubt about it.
Really?
Yeah, Rush for the win all day, every day. Chicken dinner, man.
I mean, I like Rush, but I don't see the big.
See, here's what happened. Here's what happened for me. So this was a different time period. This would have been like the late 80s, right?
Okay.
So Rush had their moving pictures and all that stuff had been popular when I was in junior high and into high school. And then a friend of mine who ended up being my roommate second semester of my freshman year of college, he was insane about Rush. And Rush's Presto album had come out, I believe, in 1989. And he listened to that and only that in his car all day, every day, no matter where you were going, right? And so and I was riding around with him all the time, especially during winter break, because I didn't have a car at the time, or my car was broken or something, and I was just always in his car. Anyway, so yeah, listened to Presto by Rush, and then Rush came to the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, and I went to see Mr. Big opened. I don't really care about Mr. Big, but Rush came to the
song
Civic
that did To Be With You and everything?
I don't remember. I think no, that's I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Big was like kind of supposed to be like an aficionado's metal band, but I never liked him. Rush, all day, every day. Love them. I mean, I even love like how excessive and ridiculous some of the stuff was.
For American bands, for me, there's so many. This is going to kind of be a cop out because most of his big stuff was when he was solo. But I'm going to say like Prince and the Revolution.
Oh,
like seriously.
Can you call that a band though?
Well, yeah. I mean, back like Purple Rain Days and everything like that. Yeah, totally. Right, the Revolution.
But
ladies
Prince
and gentlemen,
played everything.
The Revolution.
And then like just taught them how to do it.
Well, okay.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I can't say U2. I can't say because those are for across the pond there and everything.
Nirvana.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me. Man, I feel stupid now. All I had to say was Seattle. Yeah, like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, anything grunge out of Seattle. That's up there for me.
Okay, so now should I pick my favorite U.S. band?
Okay. Yeah. Go.
Jeez.
You already know my favorite Canadian band.
Why did I do that to myself? Favorite U.S. band. Jeez.
Okay, I'll get this out of the way. Tragically hip for me for Canadian.
Yes, of
Boom.
course. Of course.
Tragically hip.
Oh man, Husker Du. That's okay. How's that?
Who?
Husker Du. Husker Du.
Is it a word?
Yeah. Well, it's a German game. It's a game. It's a board game. Husker Du. Husker with two umlauts over the two U's.
Is that like
Husker
the
Du.
thing, the game that we got emailed about?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the game
But-
called again? Cornhole?
No. This is
Do you
something
remember
different.
that?
Yeah.
And then
I
you got
remember.
emailed an offer.
Yeah, but no, it's yeah, Husker Du, probably my favorite band because they influenced so many of my other favorite bands. But then, see, I'd have to pick I'd have to pick like multiple decades and then like bands from them. It would get complex. Tragically Hip for you is the Canadian band. Heart is not Canadian. The Ann and Nancy Wilson are from Seattle.
I was about to say, yeah, a lot of people think they are Canadian.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really close to Canada. I've been there.
Where?
You can just drive from Seattle. You can just
Well, yeah,
whoop, right up.
it's like an hour. It's like not even. It's like 20 minutes, like across the border, right there. Boom.
Yeah,
Like that So Seattle has an NHL team called the Kraken. I don't know who thought of that name, but that rivalry against Vancouver, because it's right there, is going to be a good one. They got a great captain, our former captain, Mark Giordano, and it is pronounced Giordano, not Giordano. You guys are lucky to have him.
Nobody cares about hockey.
No, there's plenty of people here that love. Come on, Jason. Let me have this. I get hockey 6 months a year. No, not even. Let me have this, okay?
You can have it. I mean, take it. It's like, take my wife, please.
I'll watch baseball or NFL if I'm gonna fall asleep.
Well, yeah. I mean, baseball is in a sad state right now. Football, I'll do the football. College basketball, I'll do that. Anyway, Sum 41, eek, man.
What?
Painful. Yeah, that's what I said. More. We've got 8 minutes to answer more questions.
Yeah.
So,
I got a question for you.
yep.
What is Jason's routine when he wakes up in the morning? Like, do you go get a coffee? Do you sit in the toilet for a bit first? Are you checking email? Like, what is the general routine in the morning?
Can I tell you what it's intended to be, and then what it?
No. I want to know what you
Okay.
normally do. Like, what happens?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird question. It's a weird
I've
question.
got three different phones with 3 different alarms set for 7 a.m.
I thought I was excessive with 2. Go ahead.
So 7 a.m. I get up, take my meds, drain the snake, that whole deal.
Yep.
Take my meds, start the coffee, and then if I have to take my daughter to school, then I'm getting ready to do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like I'm trying to stay away from, like, sometimes I'll get stuck in bed for an hour looking at my phone.
Oh, social media.
Yeah, so it starts out as like, oh geez, I don't check Twitter for
I don't touch Twitter until like I'm an hour into the day
Yeah, and
because
then
it just sets you off.
email is kind of like nothing dramatic happens in email anymore. So I just start that way, and sometimes I'll end up on a YouTube video or TikTok, and it'll be an hour. And so
So
but
you're
yeah.
are you browsing TikTok under your name? No, the answer is no.
No, it's Painfully Honest Tech. Yeah,
Is it really? Okay.
yeah.
I'll have to find you. For
I have
me,
a Painfully Honest Tech TikTok account.
do you dance?
I don't. The hard thing about TikTok is the things that TikTok is really good for are not the things that YouTube is really good for.
Well,
Right?
I think. Hold on. I think you might be a little bit wrong there, because some of the channels that I know that do really well on TikTok are the ones where the guys or the gals giving like a hard opinion on something. If you channeled that part of just holding your phone and giving your straight up unfiltered, opinion on this and that, and just hard, like without being pedestrian about it, I think you could do really well on there, dude. Especially in the tech space, on Tech Talk as they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I
I
mean,
think you should, man. I've done a few myself, and they've done really well.
I might try. I might try it again.
I think you
what?
should.
The TikToks that I like to watch
Hmm.
are the ones where people are just like telling random stories.
Yeah, yeah. Story
Actually,
time.
my two favorite. Well, my most favorite TikTok creator.
Mm-hmm.
Call me Chris, also Canadian.
Ah.
She's funny as hell, and she like came over to YouTube, and she's getting like millions of views on YouTube now too. So she's
Answer
a
that.
force.
What form?
So
It's too
13
early to
Pro,
tell.
13 Pro. I mean, I don't think anything's going to touch the 13 Pro Max.
No, I don't think so either. They got things so well optimized. But to give you an idea, my Pixel here has been off the charger since since 6:30 a.m. and I'm currently at I don't know if you guys can see that there, 54%.
Yeah. I'm at 64%. Mine's been off the charger since 7, but I have not been like using it a ton today. So
I haven't been using mine a lot either. Now, yesterday at this time, I was around 27%.
Yeah.
Decent. Okay, let's wrap this up. It's been a good evening. I think it's been a nice casual evening.
So should we take one more question and then what to watch?
yeah.
One more quick question.
One more quick question.
First person with
Yeah.
with a quick question.
They're typing fast. Furiously. Furiously typing.
So I did see somebody ask a question about Squid Game.
I haven't watched
and-
that yet, mostly because I don't have Netflix. But
What are you, communist?
no, I canceled my I canceled my Netflix back during the spring because there hasn't been anything on worth watching, and I
Well,
almost renewed for Squid Game, almost.
So I will say this. Watch the first episode. Well, my daughter turned on the first episode of Squid Game. I fell asleep. Last night we watched the first episode again, and it's weird. Like, so we watched 3 episodes total
Yeah.
last night, and I will say this: Squid Game is kind of like Willy Wonka, but also kind of like what's that Japanese? Where the kids in the school are killing everybody. I forget. Anyways,
What are you watching?
there was a movie based on it, a U.S. movie based on it. But anyway, yeah. So watch Squid Game. Also started watching Invasion on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Foundation. I keep on meaning to watch Foundation.
I have started to watch Foundation as well.
Okay.
It's picking up after like episode 3. It starts to pick up.
Yeah.
Invasion though, Battle Royale. Thank you, Thinking Fox. It's kind of like a cross between Willy Wonka and Battle Royale. That's what
Okay.
Squid Game is so far. But yeah, so Invasion is weird because it's almost like a drama, but set in this sci-fi like alien invasion setting. But you never see, not never, but like the alien stuff is happening around the people that you're focused on, and there's like 4 or 5 groups of people that you bounce back and forth between. So it's weird,
Okay.
but pretty good. Slow, but pretty good.
Okay.
And then Foundation. Yeah, I think last week we talked last week about Halloween Kills and how awful that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't need to go back there.
That sucks to hear that because I'm a big Halloween fan.
Yeah, like they tried so hard. Whoa, Bob. I mean, I can't tell you that. It might be a spoiler for some people who have not watched it yet. I know. I mean, Foundation is like a series of 3 gigantic books by Isaac Asimov, written in the 50s. Like, and I haven't read them. My wife read all 3, and I'm like, well, you read these books. Tell me what's supposed to happen. And she's like, I can't remember anything about them. Like, come on. It was like, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, what are you watching?
The news and Law and Order, criminal, the new one with Chris Maloney came back. Not. I mean, I still watch SVU, but the new one is called Criminal Intent or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, it's been really good. He's like deep undercover right now with like the Albania mafia or something like that. It's really good, dude. It got some good writing going on there.
I watched a lot of the original Law and Order, of course.
Like original, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't watched many of the spin-offs. So Preston's got a good question. This is a good question to end on. Okay.
What?
Jason, are you trying to own Android fanboys like conservatives are trying to own liberals? Your
Why do we
video
have to go that
Apple
way,
is just
Josh?
better. Ticked off some friends. Tick some friends off. I get you, but now everybody does. Okay. Basically, you may have struck close to the bone here, Preston.
We gotta wrap it up though.
Yeah. So let's say this. Let's say this. Kind of like the MAGA people out there.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to create a false reality where Android and iOS can exist together. That's what I'm trying to do. It's all about cognitive dissonance, people. That's what it's all about. Cognitive dissonance. I am trying to create a cognitive dissonance within my viewership, making them somewhat uncomfortable, and therefore maybe challenging their widely held beliefs. Cognitive dissonance. Maybe I'll just rename this. I'll rename the channel Cognitive Dissonance Tech.
Nobody will be able to pronounce it. They'll be like, "What?"
Exactly. That's So anyway,
Wow.
Zach is going to be live here in
Cucumber.
42 minutes, 3 minutes, 43
Yeah,
minutes?
about 45 minutes or so. Yep.
And I am going to go hang out with my grandson. Probably, if my daughter's still watching TV, maybe we'll watch another episode of Squid Game.
Cool.
So,
You're gonna watch Squid Game with a kid.
well, she's like 17.
I thought you meant like the baby.
Well, and the baby, I mean, okay, what are your thoughts on this? If you watch really like inappropriate things for children, but the child is a baby, like not able to speak, communicate, anything like that, is it bad to expose them to those things? Because I just, at a certain point, it's
I watched
like
Showgirls with my daughter when she. Just kidding, I didn't. I'm kidding.
Stop.
I'm kidding.
So, at a certain point, I mean, infants are sort of like semi-sentient potted plants, basically.
Okay.
Right? I mean, they're alive,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't do anything, and they're completely reliant on you to give them food. So, are they conscious? I don't know. So, anyway, I'll leave you with that. Our babies,
It's deep.
as semi-conscious, semi-sentient potted plants, and it's kind of like old people too. At a certain point, you get old enough that you become a potted plant as well. People just move you around into the different sunlight by the windows. I'll leave you with that.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Once again, here we are at the end of the podcast. My name is Jason, and I've been joined here by Zach. Thank you so much for your questions tonight. Good people of the painfully honestness. Good people
The
of
Wizard Squad.
Yes, the Wizard Squad.
Wizard Squad.
Anyway, thanks so much for being here, folks. We'll be back again next Tuesday. But until that time, my name is Jason. That's Zach over there. And this has been Painfully Honest Tech, the podcast. Tech so honest it hurts.